5 reasons that make the cover-up worse than the crime. Number 1. Obstruction/false statement crimes. Lying to investigators makes them mad. In most states, it's not a crime to mislead state, county, or local police, but federal law is different. It's a federal felony to willfully lie to federal investigators or conceal information from them, even by the simple act of falsely denying guilt. Conviction of a section symbol 1001 offense carries a potential punishment up to 5 years in federal prison. It's also a federal felony under 18 U.S.C. section symbol 1512C2 to corruptly obstruct, influence, or impede an official proceeding, which includes a federal investigation. Conviction of obstruction under section symbol 1512 carries a potential prison sentence of up to 20 fucking years. Keep that in mind for later. Number 2. Evidentiary links. If federal investigators don't have enough evidence to link you to a crime, one of the best ways to shoot yourself in the foot is to link yourself to the crime by trying to cover it up. Number 3. Consciousness of guilt. Federal conspiracy crimes and many federal crimes involving financial transactions require proof of willfulness. That is, proof that a person knew they were doing something wrong when they did X, Y, or Z. If you have a defense of lack of willfulness, the best way to harpoon your own defense is to demonstrate consciousness of guilt by trying to cover up your mistakes. Facts and circumstances showing a consciousness of guilt are always relevant and admissible against defendants at trial. Mr. Orange, are you paying attention? Number 4. Cover-ups are rarely successful in federal investigations. Today's law enforcement use sophisticated technology to look for evidence of crimes. Federal investigators are especially adept at collecting digital evidence from electronic devices, apps, networks, the internet, video surveillance systems, and financial institutions, to name just a few. Contrary to popular belief, it is almost impossible in today's modern world to completely delete data or destroy digital evidence. Federal investigators also use sophisticated and intimidating techniques to root out evidence that someone tried to pressure or influence a witness. Don't put yourself in a bad spot, see 1, 2, and 3 above, by trying and failing to trick or mislead federal investigators. And finally, number 5. Sentencing enhancements. In the cases where someone is convicted of a federal crime, proof that they tried to obstruct federal investigators enhance the severity of the sentence. The thought process here is, why make a bad situation worse? Right? Did you get all of that? Good. Now, I have a question to ask you. What do you all think makes Trump and his entire administration act as if though the crime that they are actively and without hiding trying to cover up appear to be much worse than the cover-up, even to the point that they all seem to be willing to accept the consequences of all of the above-mentioned results? That, if you really think about it, is diabolical. You see, where they're fucking up bigly is trying to make this a Dems versus Repubs thing, when it has absolutely nothing to do with whether or not the perps are Dems or Repubs. And they're not making it any better for themselves by constantly trying to push the Epstein narrative on the Dems, but never producing anything concrete from the files that inconclusively connects any Democrats. And you know, if they had it, they'd produce it. However, in the reverse, they've never mentioned any Republicans, but everything they release is heavily redacted, which could lead one to believe that what's being redacted has a high volume of Republican involvement. Logically, it wouldn't be this difficult to release the files if it were full of Democrats. Again, logically, it's possible that all of this hiding, redacting, procrastinating, and refusal to release the entirety of the files is because of Republican involvement. At least that's what all of these insanely illogical actions portray. Logically, they're not doing themselves any favors here. You gotta think, what could be so bad that you'd be willing to do that for that guy? Where nobody gives a fuck about breaking the law with a cover-up or the consequences that come with that. Your only concern is keeping whatever the fuck you're covering up, covered up. This is going to be a doozy. Because I truly believe that Trump believes he'll be dead before all of this comes out. And for all of those that helped him cover things up, well, if we're going to go with the normal MO of Trump, it's every man/woman for themselves. He'll be dead. He doesn't give a fuck about what happens to you. As long as he suffered no real consequences. Diabolical.